What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team FISHKNUCKLES YouTube channel. So today we're gonna talk about probably the best decks going to Memphis regionals. Basically, what we're gonna do is cover all the good decks that are coming to regionals or goes to Memphis regionals, which is happening next weekend. Not this weekend, next weekend. If you're confused, this week and next week we're just going to be covering Memphis as much as we can. It is my home state. I want to make sure that we're gonna do good. We're gonna cover as much as we can and make sure that we're all prepared, ready to go for Memphis. And yes, that's what the next 2 weeks are going to be. If you miss Monday's or Sunday's video where I talk about this. So today we're going to cover 5 different websites. 5 different websites. And talk about the decks that they think are the best tier-wise. Like best deck to play, best deck, all that kind of stuff. And that's some very interesting things going on here. So the first website, also all links are going to be down below in the description. Check them out if you want to read more about them. We are going to go kind of briefly on each one of these. But the first one we'll talk about is someone's PC. Now, someone's PC is trying to collect a bunch of data, standard League Cup result in someone's PC's tier list. They have partnered with PokeStats, which is featured on the channel before, to provide a weekly update on the latest League Cup results to create 2 different tier lists. One will be made of pure data collection and numbers, while the other is the opinion of someone's PCs as voted on. Alright, so this is going to be from November 18th through the 26th as of right now. 3,156 championship points in sample. And as you see, Broken War, which is just Gardevoir, is number 1 with 676 championship points. So definitely this is like the number 1 deck. Like it has 676. There's nowhere even close to that. I mean, there is 540, and then it like drastically drops off for 251. So next up is Zoroark Gliscopod, which is Tor's list that he did win with, and it's very interesting that you see more. I guess I don't know. I guess Broken Gardevoir beats Zoroark Gliscopod. I imagine it probably does. I don't know. I think Gardevoir is just like really good, especially with the 4 max pusher kind of thing. But yeah, so Gardevoir is number 1 in championship points wise. Zoroark Gliscopod is number 2. You got Buzzwole Lycanroc, 251, and the original Gardevoir. And I imagine they're talking about the Sylveon Gardevoir deck. Next up is Volcanion as number 5. Next up is Zoroark Decidueye, Metagross, Drampa, Zoroark Lycanroc, and the Savali Metal Vikabulu. And after that, we get a bunch of different things. There's a Decidueye Tails that's 25 points, which means it got like a top 4 placement somewhere. I don't know, but there's nothing too crazy to look into. I mean, like, you got Greninja, it's got 82, so Sylveon Jix has 82. I don't know what that means. I think it's just supposed to be 82. So Galliray Quaz, that's pretty interesting, 72. Drampa Volcanion Savali, which is it did win like the London League Cup, I think the London League Cup. There is the Alolan Ninetales Zoroark, Buzzwole Zoroark, Gliscopod Garbodor Host, Eliza, Buzzwole Carbomable, Decidueye, which is Decidueye, Ninetales, Espeon Garbodor, and Metal Box. So yeah, we're going to scroll down, and you're going to see their tier list. Now, this is based off points-wise, and you can obviously tell that Gardevoir and Zoroark Gliscopod are the best 2 decks, and we're going to see this theme happen over and over again in these couple articles. Now, tier 2 and tier 3 is when stuff starts to be different in these different articles. We got Buzzwole, Lycanroc, Volcanion, and Decidueye in tier 2. And in tier 3, we have Metagross, Drampa, and Zoroark Lycanroc. Now, I do think that Zoroark Lycanroc is gaining more hype now. Definitely the Zoroark, I guess the Zoroark. Maybe not Zoroark Lycanroc. Oh, there, like Zoroark Buzzwole. I've seen that being pretty played in some places, because, you know, the Buzzwole can counter the Zoroark, but Zoroark is just still so good. It's probably the strongest card in Standard. Guardy does give it run its money, but Zoroark is probably the strongest card in Standard just because it's so versatile and can play to so many different decks. I do like that Volcanion's tier 2. I do think it's a really good deck. I think that it's probably one of my favorite decks going on, and I always love Decidueye Zoroark. The thing with the Volcanion is it can be like the Zoroark Gliscopod and it can beat all the broken, like the Gardevoir counters, but it is going to struggle against the Gardevoir, which is going to be the big thing going in regionals, is which one do you expect more of? Do you expect more of Gardevoir, or do you expect more of Guardy counters, or do you think everybody's just going to hop on the Zoroark Gliscod hype train? This is what you have to ask yourself if you're playing Volcanion. I think you can beat Buzzwole Lycanroc pretty easily. I think you can beat Decidueye Zoroark. Decidueye Zoroark, it could be somewhat weird, but I think you can handle their match. I think you can handle it. Yeah, I think it's a good matchup. I think Metagross, Volcanion beats it. Drampa Garb, Volcanion can beat it. It's somewhat weird when the Garb comes out, and Zoroark Lycanroc. So yeah. So definitely we're going to see that tier 1 is going to be Gardevoir Gliscod, and we're probably going to hear me repeat that Volcanion's really good in my head over and over again. And we see someone's PC, they're stainless. Now remember, this is just based off points, not what they think. So someone's PC tier list, Gardevoir, they get a description, Gardevoir's Gliscod, and they actually have Savali Metal in the tier 1, and you go above here, you're actually Savali Metal, it's really not anywhere. Now, this is just, you know, what they're testing is, they're saying that, hey, Savali Metal is a really, really good deck, and I do think that it is a really good deck. It does have all those metal attackers, the Gyro unit's really good, to get that free treat. Turbo Drive is amazing and has the energy acceleration, and yeah, I think it does have great matchups. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how well does Savali come into play. We really haven't seen it played too much, and definitely people are on the Gardevoir and Zoroark Gliscod hype train a little bit more than Savali, just because it's only had that one really good placement. But yeah, let's keep on going. So Buzzwole, Lycanroc, like I said, fighting is really good against Zoroark, and that's why it's in there. Zoroark Decidueye is really good against all these evolution decks. And then Greninja, which nobody's playing the Giratina promo. What you see right here, it says Giratina promo. We don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, in a tournament setting without Giratina promo Grass Stackers, then the deck will thrive and become an instant favorite to win the event. However, should the field be ready for the deck and run purple counters, the deck becomes a weak play. And we know what Greninja does. You know, sometimes with Greninja, you get Greninja hands, and you have a bunch of Pokemon, and you dead draw. But, I mean, it has done fairly well, at every big tournament this year, I think, if I remember correctly. Maybe not everyone, but it definitely seems like it keeps popping up over and over again. So definitely, if you haven't been testing Greninja, make sure you look into it, because it definitely is a good deck. So cool thing for someone's PC for pointing that out. Now, Tier 3 honors, but Volcanion Tier 3. Even with the top 8 placing in London Internationals, Volcanion is amongst the top tier decks in meta. The deck doesn't really have any loss in strength with the high presence of Gardevoir, the speed of Zoroark GX, and the pressure from Buzzwole Zoroark. This deck has a tough time keeping up the rest of the meta. I don't know. I think that the Zoroark matchup is actually somewhat decent. I don't know. Even with the type advantage against Gliscod, the tournament-winning Gliscod Zoroark Jack doesn't need to have Gliscod to win the game. If they're able to string early damage around with the Tapu Koko, Gardevoir's tough matchup, and there really is enough pure metal decks and grass deck running for Volcanion to have free wins from left and right. And I don't know. I think that it does have a good Zoroark matchup. I could be crazy, but I think it actually does. Maybe, like I said, maybe I'm crazy and I just don't know what I'm talking about. Metagross is going to be really good because it does beat the best deck in format. But I don't know. If I'm playing some kind of meta, I definitely will go Savali. Zoroark Lycanroc. Alright, and they asked what would they play this weekend, and we see Brad Kershaw, he would say Buzzwole Lycanroc. We see Drew Kennett say Zoroark Decidueye. Mark Garcia saying Gardevoir. Russell Apart Gardevoir. Kiana Meany saying Gardevoir. Zoroark Gliscod, Savali Metal, Buzzwole Gardevoir, and Volcanion. Chris, you're my hero that I need. So yeah, that is going to be someone's PC's tier list. And like I said, we have 5 different tier lists going on here. So let's go on to the next one. And that is actually going to be Limitless. Now, they're, it's kind of the same like someone's PC. They don't really have I guess, like an article like someone's PC do. Limitless does collect points just like, you know, someone's PC is, but Limitless, it mostly has these bigger tournaments, which I still think it's really cool they have all these points breakdown. But if you look, best deck by points, we see that Gardevoir is definitely number 1, Zoroark GX is number 2, and Savali is number 3, so it actually kind of does fit the tier list that someone's PC has. Now here's the difference. The fourth place is Volcanium, and then Buzzwole is number 5. They're only up by 2 points, and the Decidueye is 66. Once again, we see a big drop-off from Zoroark, GX, and Gardevoir, 134 and 84. So we're going to see this continuous theme of, hey, Zoroark and Gardevoir are the best 2 decks coming into Memphis Regionals. We have Greninja having 44 points. People are probably scared to play Greninja just because there is so much Zoroark Gliscod coming around. And that'd be one thing if I was playing Greninja. I'd actually be pretty scared of all the Gliscod decks coming around. We saw I think Tord beat his Greninja deck. Don't quote me on that, but I think he did. Garbodor kind of died off since Zoroark is now a thing. Zoroark has the resistance. You can, like, dig through your deck. You can blow them up with a bench of 5. It's really not that good of a matchup. So unfortunately, Garbodor is dying, which is good for us. And there's another Zoroark here. I wonder if I can split. What does this do if I split this? Alright, so if you split by points, ooh, this actually gets really interesting all of a sudden. So you split the archetypes in different variants. We see it does switch up here. And we see that Zoroark Gliscod is number 1, and straight Gardevoir, aka Broken Vor, it's number 2, and Volcanium's number 3. We see Gardevoir Sylveon is number 4. Gliscod Garbodor is number 4. Silvally Metal is number 6 now. Okay. Buzzwole Lycanroc, Greninja. And there is a Zoroark Silvally Metal, so I guess a little bit different. It does have the Zoroark, and that's why you see the difference in these two. There's another one. Oh, there's a Heatmor Raichu with 15 points somewhere. That's pretty neat to see. Buzzwole Silvally is in there. Volcanium Silvally, which we talked about. It did win that first place League Cup. So yeah, I mean, when you switch it over, Zoroark Gliscod has actually beaten Broken Var, which we saw in someone's PC. They say that Broken Var was the number 1. I don't know. I think they have this, and probably like they think that Broken Var is better than Zoroark Gliscod. If I think about it. So yeah, if you split it to different variants, Zoroark Gliscod is beating the Gardevoir. But if you split this kind of same kind of type stuff, we see that Gardevoir is the number 1 seed and Zoroark GX is number 2. I just really want to see what this was. Like, what is this Zoroark deck right here? I wonder. But there's Metagross, Heatmor Raichu, and then Xerneas Break as number 13. So I mean, if you split the different archetypes, we have currently, 17 different decks on this one. We have, 22, 30 list on, or 30 different decks on this one. So yeah, you can see there's a ton of different decks in the standard too, which is always great. But yeah, next up, let's go to 60 cards. So 60 cards has an article actually written by Caleb. He has, all the different decks that we top 32. We have 9 Gardevoir, 6 Gliscod Zoroark GX, which is 19%, 5 Silvally Metal, 2 Garbodor Gliscod, Decidueye Zoroark, Buzzwole Lycanroc, and then 1 Volcanium Silvally, Heatmor Raichu, Greninja Break, Drampa Zoroark, and Drampa Garbodor. Alright, at first glance, you see that Gardevoir GX was by far the most successful deck at concentration. When you look a little closer, though, it becomes clear that Gliscod GX, Zoroark GX was the most successful deck by placement. First place and a top 8 placement among other solid finishes. The biggest rise from the event was probably the rise of Silvally GX Metal, since going to tournament was relatively unknown and kept under wraps. Aside from that, things were generally as expected. A few of the decks cruising under the radar, like the Zoroark Decidueye deck, and that is definitely a deck people were considering playing. But it is getting a lot of hype now too, which is good to see. Alright, so we're going to go down just a little bit. You can see Gardevoir, he's got 3rd, 14th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 21st, 25th, 29th. And Zoroark Gliscod actually got 1st, 8th, 9th, 20th, 23rd, and 24th. So, like Caleb said, Zoroark Gliscod had more, I guess, better placement with the 1st, 8th, and 9th, while this one has a 3rd and then 14th. So, definitely Gliscod Zoroark was the better, probably the better deck overall. Next up is going to be the Silvally Metal. Even Silvally Metal had better placements than Gardevoir. It had the 2nd, 11th, and 13th. So in this one, you think that Silvally Metal is actually the 2nd seed, while Gardevoir is actually the 3rd seed in this matchup. And I guess the question is, how does Silvally take down Gliscod Zoroark? The Silvally has, the fighting memory. You can use that for Gliscod, or not use that for Gliscod. You use it for Zoroark. But how do you handle the Gliscod that constantly can Ace Rolla and heal their Gliscods over and over again? That is going to be the big mystery for Silvally Metal to figure out. What was left out? Top Bulu didn't see a single post. Spotted top 32. Neither did Metagross. So yeah, neither are huge, strong decks right now, so that's not a huge surprise. Ninetales Zoroark was one of the most hyped decks going to this weekend after lots of League Cup success, but saw little to no play and bombed. The ever so popular European Xerneas Break deck didn't take a spot either. There was a Valley Fire deck that plays right outside the cut, as well as other few fringe decks like Bisharp Zoroark Break. Ooh, Bisharp Zoroark Break, that was a really cool deck. Overall, I think the second day placements are pretty indicative. The format, the decks plays the best, thought to do well, were shown as such. I am surprised that Greninja Break did so well, though, as I do not think it was a position that well and had a lot of bad matches to event. Its general inconsistencies make it a lackluster play for large events, in my opinion, too. And that's what I was kind of saying earlier. It's definitely like a scary deck to play because you can draw Greninja hands and be really bad. And also, like I said, there is the Glissopods that are running around like crazy, and it still managed to make top 8. I think it actually made top 4, if I remember correctly. Does it say? No, he doesn't have it set on here, unfortunately. I think if we go here, we go to tournaments. And this is all limitless, obviously. You can go to the International London, and you can actually see, yeah, that Michael Long got 4th with his Greninja deck. So yeah, so still Greninja's still a good play, I think. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe not anymore. Since Glissopods Zoroark is like super hyped right now. But we're gonna go down and we're gonna see that Caleb's tiered list. He has Gardevoir GX, Glissopods Zoroark, and Savali Metal, which is kind of the same as the Someone's PC thing. I think they have the same one. Yeah, they literally have the same one. Gardevoir, Glisspot, and Savali Metal. So Savali Metal is definitely like the unknown like A tier. Like people think it's really good, and it has proven that it is good at the one tournament it's been at. But will it handle in Memphis? That is a question. There's Buzzwole, Lycanroc, Decidueye Zoroark, and Drampa Garbodor. Now, Drampa Garbodor is actually a really surprising thing. I don't know how it favors. Like, yeah, Drampa's good because it has a Righteous Edge, so you can discard DCs off the active Zoroark, make it where they can't attack and stuff like that. But then they can, like, double puzzle and two-shot your Drampa and stuff like that, but you can put it on the Garbodor so they can't use the trade ability, but then they play 4 field blowers. I don't know. I would put Drampa probably lower. It does have a good matchup against Gardevoir, probably not so much a good matchup against Savali. I guess against Savali, you can discard their DCs and make it where they can't attack, and then you have the Garbodor to turn off the Gyro unit, so maybe it's a little better than I think it is. But, yeah, Drampa, if I was playing Garbodor, I'd definitely play, like, Espeon Garb. I don't know. Espeon Garb seems so much better than Drampa Garb. But, C tier is Drampa Zoroark, which is the first time I ever heard of this. Drampa Zoroark. I mean, it was big last formats, like Zoroark Drampa was pretty big, but now it's kind of died off. Garbodor, Glisspot, Greninja Break, Heatmore Raichu, Savali Fighting, and Volcanion. Alright, I'm not a huge believer in tier list, but you can tell from this one that the top 3 finishers of the Zayat were ranked the highest. Other solid decks that did well, but weren't played in higher numbers, are lagging just a little behind the lower tiers. Weaker decks like Heatmore Raichu, for example, fall in the last tier, as they may have been more of one-hit wonders than anything, but might still stick around and push out decent results from time to time. The thing with, like, Heatmore Raichu, if Zoroark keeps being, like, the best deck, like we think it is, then, like, it has no chance because it auto-loses to Zoroark, unfortunately. So, yeah, that is going to be Caleb's tier list. Next up, we have 6 prizes. So, I mean, we have Someone's PC, we have Limitless, we have 60 cards, we have 6 prizes. We're going to scroll down. This is actually rendered by Xander Pero, so we're going to scroll down just a little bit. He talks about his Drampa, Espeon, Garbodor deck that he played. He talks about Gourgeist some. We'll cover Gourgeist here in a second. And so we're going to scroll down, and here is his tier list. Moving on. Now, this one is going to be different than the other ones. He's going to say Glisspot Zoroark is number 1. Brokenvar is number 2, and Buzzwole Variants is actually number 3. So he's going to put Buzzwole actually above the Savali Metal, but still put Zoroark Decidueye in that bracket. Where do you put... Okay, so Caleb also put Volcanion as C tier, and we see Russell also put Volcanion as C tier. So Volcanion has 2 C tiers right now. Man, okay. Alright. So he's going to have Savali Metal Zoroark, Trash Legendaries and Greninja and everything else. Alright, so unsurprising, all the decks including new cards aside from Gardevoir. I rate Trash Legends as tier 3 because it has pretty favorable matchup against everything else below its Zoroark, Decidueye, and pure Buzzwole matchups aren't terrible either. The problem arises when Buzzwole and Zoroark are paired together. Like Pedro's deck from round 9, I noticed he ran a 1-1 Lycanroc 2, which is cool since it gave a good GX attacker. Volcanic could appear with the spot of the meta pair with Savali GX and win the 300-person League Cup on Saturday, beating out the plethora of Buzzwole and Gliscod Zorks in top 8. I ultimately went 6-1 in that tournament with Brokovar, tying Drampa, Espeon, Garbodor, and losing to Buzzwole, Zoroark, Lycanroc, and Gliscod Zoroark. I do think that's, like I said, that if you're going to play anything, you're going to play like the Espeon Garbodor version. You're not going to play straight Drampa. Even as Xander's list, he played like I think a 1-1 Espeon. So yeah, but I think like pure Espeon might be just good. I just always hate this like GX, not the GX. I just always hate this Psybeam attack. Just to be able to confuse people is so good. I mean, there's ways to get around it now, but man, it's just really good to like confuse people, which is why I'm always like, I'm just always nervous when I sit down and I see like an Eevee turn 1. I'm like, oh man, is this Espeon? But now we have something else to worry about too, and I'll go over that here in a second. So yeah, in this tier list, we also see like, you know, Volcania's not even on here, but we see actually members. He actually mentions the Volcania deck just a little bit. So yeah, that's me all the tier lists. Like I said, the main two is definitely Gliscod and Brokenvar. Next up, we see Savali Metal making somewhat of an appearance, and Zoroark Decidueye is definitely up there. Everything else is kind of like, it's good. Like Buzzwole, it's up there as well in some of these things. We see Buzzwole is like not right here. So we see over here, we see that Buzzwole is the number in the second seed. So overall, it seems like all these lists are basically the same thing. They think, you know, Zoroark, Gliscod, and Savali are good decks, really good decks. We see tier 2, you know, Buzzwole and Zoroark, Decidueye, Greninja. And yeah, so all these tier lists look exactly the same, unfortunately. So I don't know how it's going to play out. But let's look at the last one. This is actually the Charizard Lounge. Now, we're going to really, I mean, he has the recap from, like, European Championship results. But we're going to look out here as you're still Gourgeist, Decidueye, Zoroark, and Volcanion in Standard. So Andrew always knows how to make me happy. So he's going to cover a Gourgeist deck, and I don't want to go over too much about it. This is his list. I don't want to cover too much about Gourgeist. If you want to check out this article, make sure you check it out. Gourgeist has a Pumpkin Bomb. Before doing damage, you may discard any number of Pokemon tools or cards. You may discard any number of Pokemon tool cards from your Pokemon. This deck does 40 damage for each card you discarded in this way. Of course, if you discard 3, then you're good to go. Like, no, yeah, 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now you have to discard 4. Yeah, so 12, 13. Wait, hold on. 4 is 16. Yeah, so if you discard 4 tools, you actually start taking knockouts with Pumpkaboo. Yeah. So, Gourgeist. So basically, it just follows like Gourgeist. You discard a bunch of tools. You have a Soul Vest, Choice Band, Dashing Pouch, Flowstone, and Brooklyn Hills. So yeah, that is, like I said, read the article. He goes in very good detail about the Gourgeist deck. We also see that Xander Pero also talks about the Gourgeist deck. And even though Zoroark is running around everywhere, they're still hyping up the Zoroark, this Gourgeist deck. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's tournament viability. It is certainly a super powerful deck, but it's also one of the least consistent decks that I've played. The least two consistent parts about the deck are the Klefki portion of the deck and your double colors energy attachments. Oh, it plays Klefki too? Oh, so you can use the Wonderlock to put more tools in play. That's really cool. Oh man, I'm proud of Xander and Andrew. Xander's have a... Xander plays Klefki as well. So yeah, there we go. That's pretty cool. You're so Gourgeist. That's cute. So yeah, long article about Gourgeist, but the thing I want to talk about here is Decidueye Zoroark, an emerging favorite. We're definitely gonna cover Zoroark Decidueye. I know I never really did a video about it. We kind of just played against the deck out or Top Cut. the deck out, the top cut decks. I can't remember. Oh my goodness, I can't remember. Top Deck Nation. Yeah, Top Deck Nation. They actually play the Zork Decidueye against us, but we will play the Zork. We will play a Decidueye Zork here in about 3 days. So yeah, Decidueye Zork's definitely getting a lot of hype right now because it can easily beat the Broken Var and beat the Zork Gallisapod deck. It goes in much detail about this. If you want to read this, check it out. I'm not going to read about it. Combat and Gardevoir and Zork Gallisapod with Decidueye. He tells you how to beat it. Like, if you literally got this whole article right here. Yeah, like, you can read it. And then versus Zork Gallisapod. Yeah, you have this to read. It's thought 2, then a final Decidueye. Now, he also talks about Volcanion. And I still think the Volcanion is a really, really good play. I think it's a good play. I think it really is a good play for sure for this weekend coming up. Because Garb is really not a thing anymore, and that's kind of died off, so I think it actually does do very well. But Memphis is quickly approaching, in less than 2 weeks away from now. For those who haven't heard yet, Memphis will be the largest regional championship in the history of the game, and the first one to break 900 Masters Division players. I still have lots of testing I want to get in for then. I am fairly confident that both the Decidueye, Zork, and Volcanion are decks that will give players a great opportunity to do well at Memphis. Gourgeist, probably not so much, but you can still check it out. So that's going to be the big thing here. Do you go on the hype train? Do you just play like Zork Gallisapod? Do you play, the Gardevoir deck? Zork Gallisapod or Zark or whatever? Do you play Savali Metal and hope you can beat those decks? I don't know how Savali versus Gallisapod is. I guess I don't know how really the Gallisapod part really happens. They can't one-shot you. You might play Max Potions or Acerolas. That seems really cool in the deck. Buzzwole Lycanroc can then hit for weakness on Savali and Zorks. So there's a lot going on right now in the game. There's so much different decks going on that there's really not a super bad choice. And unfortunately, that's the thing. There's not a bad choice going into Memphis. It's just what do you feel more comfortable with going into this weekend. One thing you also have to watch out for is a Sylveon deck. I think Sylveon will sneak in, and some people will play Sylveon, even though it has a terrible Gardevoir matches. I think people will still play Sylveon because he can beat pretty much all these stacks. It can easily beat Zork Gallisapod. It can easily beat Savali Metal. Because you can make sure they never have enough energies on Savali to even attack. You beat Buzzwole Lycanroc because you could just discard the energies or whatever. Zork Decidueye might be somewhat weird, just because they can de-evolve you and spread damage with the Decidueye. You don't even have to put down energies, so that actually might be an interesting matchup. Sylveon should lose to Greninja, but we did beat it. Sylveon will probably lose the Volcanion, but it can beat it. It auto loses Metagross. Zarkliker is the easy deck to beat as well. So there we go, guys. There is the tier list happening. Like I said, the best 2 decks going into this weekend are going into next weekend. It's definitely Gallisapod, Zark, and Gardevoir. So the back question for the day is, which one do you think is going to be more played? Do you think the Zork Gallisapod is going to be more played? Or do you think the Gardevoir deck is going to be more played? Now, and I'm really interested to see what people think about this. But yep, there we go. There is the, the best decks in standard format going into Memphis. Tomorrow we'll probably cover Gardevoir. Then after that we'll cover Zork Gallisapod. And then after that we'll cover Savali Metal. And we'll start testing these decks out and show how they work and stuff like that. And let me know which one you want to see more when we get deeper into the thing, because we have so many days to test decks, but we need to test a lot and show these decks off. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a fantastic It's Tuesday. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.